All right, class, welcome to the Math 39 class. This is a video about the Canvas shell and how to use it here. So let me real quick here, go back to the home page. This is how you, the students, would see it. So on here, real quick here, there will on a weekly basis be an announcement. If you just want to click on it, you don't have to hit quick reply, but if you click on the title, click here to view the whole announcement right here. I'll do this weekly just to tell you guys where you guys are at. But it just says, welcome to the Math 39 class. So excited to have you in the class here as you start your journey. May be kind of overwhelming as you take part in a whole new class, but really just take some time to explore it. The only thing I do ask is if you please make sure that you email me stating that you want to stay in the class on the first day of class. Also complete discussion board number 1. It's just an introduction of yourself, but that tells me that you would like to stay in the class, and therefore I will know that. All right. Good. Let's go back to the home page. And just real quick here, there it is, the title of the class, the number of the class, my name, my office number, my email, just a quick little welcome. And here it is, kind of 3 things to do, or sorry, 2 things to do. Email me, you want to stay in the class, and complete the discussion boards here. All right. And really all this is just to sort of like say, just get started here, a little bit about myself, where I got my degrees from. And we go from there. So this little module button is the same as this little module button here, just so you don't have to go all the way back to the beginning. So each time that you log in into Canvas, this is your home page. If you want to click on the announcements, if it's a new week. Otherwise, you can go to the modules, you can go to the syllabus, you can go to your grades just from these little pieces. We're going to go to modules here. All right, this is the way to set it up here. If you click on this one, you're going to get the instructor, expectations for myself, and expectations for you from me, as far as when am I answering emails, when can you be sure that I'll get back to you, all the good stuff here. The video that you are watching right now is this one right here, and then you'll subsequent the other videos, the My Lab video. There's a support thing. We'll talk about that later. And there's the 5 ways to study. Again, talking about that later. There's the syllabus. I may not be able to convert it to a podcast just because I didn't have any time. But the important part is the schedule. So if you click on here, it just kind of gives you the introduction to the schedule. Just saying I've outlined all the stuff that's due. And I greatly encourage you, please, 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 to download this onto your computer. Click on here for the download. And then once you do that, save it somewhere, pin it up next to your calendar that you use at home. Do something in which you kind of, those should not be blue. I'm in edit mode for some reason. And then, so you got June, you got July, and technically we are finishing up on August 1st. So there's that, those pieces there. So this thing spreads really into 3 months, but really it's just 8 weeks. That's all. And notice just real quick, the first day there's some assignments due. The Wednesday there's something that is due to sign up for the My Math Lab. And then basically on Fridays things are due. So as you go through it, except for this one right here, 4th of July holiday, it's a Friday, falls on a Friday, therefore nothing will be due here. Doesn't mean you can't work on your stuff if you have some time, but nothing will be due. So all the stuff that's due on that Friday will be moved to the Monday. And then you have the midterm here as well, some more discussion boards, and all the way down to the final. So there's the course schedule. Please, I would encourage you to download it and use it here. So again, going to home page, click on modules. We're going through this. So this part right here is just a welcome introduction, everything that you need. I've kind of gave you, I do want you to click on it as opposed to me clicking on it right now. But I want you to click on the calculators to see what can be used, what some good online calculators that are here, and go in from there. All right, and the next stop is chapter 1, and all the other chapters, subsequent chapters, are very, very similar to this one here. So if you go, you'll get an introduction of chapter 1. Then you'll go into the provided videos that I've linked from YouTube onto those pieces here. I will just tell you that 1.1 videos, there's multiple ones, they take a long time. I guess the author really kind of just crammed a whole bunch of stuff into 1.1. So I have it kind of like a part 1, part 2 type deal. And from this, you should be able to really take notes from this and really get to the point of understanding the section. And again, this is just for you guys to know how to do what chapter 1 says, right? You don't have to necessarily watch the videos. I think videos are really good and a good source of things. But if you choose to just do the PowerPoints, that's fine too. Some students I have, usually about 2 or 3 per class, they'll just say, I don't like the videos, never liked them. I'd rather download the the PowerPoints. And once downloaded, you just kind of go through each of the PowerPoints one by one. Notice this one right here, it kind of just gives you all the slides all at once. The advantage is if you were to actually download them, then you can use it as a slideshow. So slideshow will give you a little bit different. Notice like this problem right here, it'll give you a step-by-step problem, what you're doing, and then you come to a conclusion in a sense step by step, as opposed to the whole entire slide is before you if you do that. All right, so there's the PowerPoint slides. Boom. Getting back to modules here, that's what I want to get to. All right, the chapters are outlined almost the same way like here. Then this is the click to the chapter 1 homework right then and there. And the Student Cafe. Student Cafe says in the introduction, it is for you, students, to interact with each other. Primarily if you're stuck on homework assignments or something's not clear in the class, that's where you guys can just kind of talk to each other technically or chat to each other. I rarely will check this. This is for you guys, but if you do see abuse going on, please email me. See if we can kind of, should not be any abuse coming on and on that discussion board. And just a quick wrap up. And then if there's any discussion boards that need to be done, there's your discussion boards that are done. So chapter 2, very, very similar to chapter 1. You have your videos. This time there's only one link to the video as opposed to 3. All the PowerPoints. Click on doing your homework, chat with others in the class, a warm up, and a discussion board. All right, you do also have grade checks that are due right over here. I will change the due dates on them because due dates are incorrect here. But yeah, all these due dates need to be changed. So this is not your class particularly. This is like a sandbox class. This is my test class, and I will just import everything to your class, and then I'll change up the dates. But there's a grade check. So after you do chapter 2, basically just click on this, email me stating how are you doing in the class. That's essentially what I want to hear. And then we go from there. So chapter 3, notice chapter 3 does not have a discussion board on that one. Chapter 4, very similar to like chapter 3. There it is. Oh, sorry. No, there's a discussion board. That's right. Yeah. And there's a start of the discussion board. How are you going to be studying for the midterm exam? As you get into chapter 5, as you wrap up, and there's an exam. So it will be available to you close to this date, 1 or 2 days prior. And there's a study guide. So if you want to click on this, again, one of those just like the schedule, you can click on this. And I would suggest what you do is you download this right here. Download it. And as you're doing your homework, notice this is what's going to be on the final. Doesn't tell you what the number is itself, but notice it ranges from chapter 2, because chapter 1 really is just an intro to it. There's going to be 30 questions on the test. And here's where they're coming from. They're coming from this section, and that is the instructions. So you just basically just have everything except for the problem itself. So I would do this here. As you're doing a chapter 2 homework, concentrate on the section that says evaluate functions in your homework. That'll probably be the best way to sort of prep yourself for the midterm exam. All right, let me go back to modules. We just covered the exam. That's chapter 5. All right, chapters, and then right after there's a grade check. After you do the midterm, tell me how you do in the class. Chapter 6 videos. Chapter 7 videos, PowerPoints, homework link. And chapter 8, the only thing is we do skip chapter 8.4. Do want to teach this section, you can skip that entirely as well. And it will be skipped on the homework as well. And then we got grade check number 3 before we get going into the last part of the class, which is the SLOW exam, student learning outcome exam. And there's a study guide just like the midterm, so please click on it, download it, and study off it as you get prepped for this exam, as well as the study guide, the same exact concept. Please click on it. Download it. It doesn't tell you which section they're coming from anymore, but there are going to be, again, 30 questions again. And we go from there. All right, so hopefully that gave you an introduction of how the modules work. If you want to click on announcements, all of them all together, that's fine. There's my welcome announcement. There's really nothing underneath here. But each week I will post a new announcement right over here, so then you kind of know where you're at. All right, for the syllabus, if you want to go to the syllabus, you can't go to it now just because it doesn't work, but I encourage you, please go to this. It's called the simple syllabus, which is a formatted, generated syllabus. And this will not what it says when you click on it. It'll actually go to a syllabus, which you can read for yourself. And my suggestion also is to print these out for yourself. And self-explanatory, there's grades. Click on that to see how you're doing in the class. And this part right here, I do mention whether you're a Kalinga student right here, Fireball student, Mendota student, you have access to something called NetTutor. Right here, if you're a Lemoore student, click on this one because they are college specific. Let me click on to see how far I can go through it here as a student. There it is. Won't allow me to do that. Essentially, what this is each college has bought you 40 hours of instruction time with a tutor. This is going to be virtual with a whiteboard usually. And that's kind of cool. 40 free hours. All the tutors have at least a bachelor's degree in their field. Some have a master's degree, some have a PhD. And you can just ask them questions about the course. They should be great in answering those questions here. You have a few choices here. Let me see if I can actually leave the student view just to get the correct link. This is mine, so I should be able to get to here. All right, here it is. Yep, that's perfect. So the tutoring center, click on here, and you will be placed in a tutoring room based upon what you need help with. So notice there's a lot of stuff here. So for us, it would be this part right here. This would be math, algebra, basic math, and pre-calc. So basically anything above anything below calculus, essentially. That's what this one is. So if you need some help, click on that button. I can't click it because I don't have a student account. And you go from there. The other way that you can use this service is you can drop off a paper, drop off some work. What they'll do is they'll go through it and grade it for you and try to give comments, and they'll leave it for you. And there's going to be a little place over here. Let me change it up just a little bit here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so then you just go to it and leave it. There's more of a writing center here. Oh, sorry, I need help with the writing. Okay, gotcha. This is specific for writing. I'm sorry. So you're going to go to this one right here only. Okay. Sorry about that. Did not read that completely. All right, and that concludes Go back to student view. Right here. That concludes the Canvas tutorial. Thank you so much for watching.